Hello, my name is Sophie and welcome back to my channel. This is a very spontaneously filmed video, hence why my hair is scraped back and I'm not wearing any makeup. But I did a version of this video while I was doing Vlogmas at the end of last year, but I thought I would do a slightly updated version using my new book journal of my process of logging and tracking when I finish a book. So here's that. So I literally this morning finished The Principle of Moments by Esme Pearson, which was my December Illumicrate book, and I rated it 2 stars. I mean, this isn't a review video, so I don't really need to go into it, but I didn't really feel emotionally connected to any of the characters. I don't understand the relevance of the title. I didn't understand how it was a space opera. It was clearly designed to be part of an overarching series, and in the end I think that just made it feel less conclusive. And I think rather than spending 500 pages on one aspect of what is going to be the overarching plot, I think 500 pages could have adequately and much more efficiently covered the entire plot, rather than feeling quite slow-paced and drawn out in places. And I think the fact that I don't feel intrigued enough about the remaining open plot points to want to read the sequel whenever that does come out says everything it needs to say. But that's not why we're here. We're here to log that I've read it. So I have a little checklist on my phone. So yeah, I have this little note on my phone where I make a note of how much I've read each day. It's just easier to have that digitally rather than trying to fill that into a notebook at the end of the night when I'm half asleep, so then I can transfer that data elsewhere when I wake up. Then I've got a bunch of other lists, but here I have my finished book checklist. Maybe it should be finished book checklist, but either way, first on that list is Storygraph. So I'm going to go into my Storygraph app. I've already done it. I've already marked it as finished, but I haven't added a review. So I marked that I finished The Principle of Moments on the 21st of January, which is today, and then add review. Wasn't really, it was technically adventurous, definitely wasn't inspiring. I don't really know what challenging refers to. Light-hearted, dark, mysterious, emotional, funny, relaxing, hopeful. It wasn't any of those things, which is why I rated it 2 stars. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to say it was slow-paced because it was 500 pages long. It was a real slog to get through. Plot or character-driven? I think plot, but kind of... Yeah, no, it is plot because it's a prophecy-based plot. Strong character development? No. Lovable characters? No. Diverse characters? Yes, definitely diverse characters. Flaws of the main character, the main focus of the book. Oh, I meant to click no. Oops. Out of my... What would I give the rating out of 5 stars? I'm giving it a 2. And then I don't really tend to do anything else you'd like to add, or main themes, topics or tropes. That's Storygraph done, basically. The review is done. I've now read 3 books this year and I'm right on track with my reading goal, which is very exciting. So after Storygraph we have Bookshelf, which is the app where I track all of my physical reads. Here are all of my unread books. There's a lot of them, but we're working on it. Esme J will be for an Ishiguro. Ah, there it is. The Principle of Moments. 2 whole stars. All of the pages read, finished today. There we go. And then that will remove it from my unread section, so it won't be on this list anymore. Then Instagram bio and Instagram post. Oh, I've already done the Instagram post, so that's that done. There we go, there is the Instagram post. I've already done the post and added it to my 2024 reads highlight. There we go. So that's exciting. Is it? Not really. So I'm no longer reading The Principle of Moments. My next read, for want of a better word, I'm going to read it on Kindle Unlimited. It's going to be With This Kiss by Carrie Hope Fletcher, which I did actually start last week, but I'm going to focus on it properly and actually read it now. That's my Instagram bio updated. The post is already done. Then we move on to the Excel spreadsheet, the book journal and the book talk journal, which are all downstairs, so let's continue this down there. It's been a few days and I'm wearing a different outfit, but when I went downstairs to film the other half of this video, my husband was playing Baldur's Gate and I didn't want to interrupt his video game, so I just kind of did the rest of my finished book reading update and decided I'd film this clip later. So it is a few days later, but essentially what I did, I'm kind of working with 2 book journals at the moment, and I know I'm already one for tracking my reading in 7 different places, but the book talk journal had space for 100 books in it, and I read 80 books last year, and I grouped Heartstopper volume 3 and 4 together, so I used 79 pages. So what I'm doing is just filling this book to completion. I know it's not going to last me the whole year, but I think having a complete book will be a complete reading journal will be really satisfying. So I'm continuing to update my book talk journal, but then I move on to filling in my book journal that I designed myself. I've made videos on this. I'll put a link in the description or in the cards if you're interested in seeing this in more detail, but there's a few kind of overarching stuff that like yearly stuff that I'll update, like my yearly reading goal, my like monthly book tracker kind of thing, but then I've also added to my monthly reading log with that as well, so don't need to over explain it, it's a reading journal. Then we get on to the good stuff, we get onto my spreadsheet. So I'm starting on my reading tracker page and I'm just moving, I have a little currently reading section so that I remember what day I started the book on, because that's the kind of data that I always forget. Then I'm just moving the name of the wind so it's next to With This Kiss. So I then add the finish date and I calculate how many days it took me to finish. It took me 12 whole days to finish. Then I add the series title and the series number. Obviously that's not relevant to every book. Then I go on and fill in genre 1, genre 2, the audience that it's relevant to, format 1 and format 2. I've added 2 formats this year because sometimes I co-read, so it's worth adding a second format. The status is related to whether it's a backlog book, whether it's a new release, whether I read it on KU or Audible or whatever. So then the chosen category is essentially just why I read the book, and this one was on my monthly TBR, so I've just put that in there. And then the number of pages, I think it was 501 for this book, and the rating was 2 stars. Then the next tab is my TBR tracker, so the purple on the left is my 2023 and before backlog. Then I have a list of the wedding books and a list of new releases, so I just went and found The Principle of Moments on my backlog list. Here's where I start faffing around because I want to get rid of the gap. So my thought was that I was just going to copy and paste all the things that were below it above one line, but then I realized I could just delete the line, but it takes me a little while to get there, so let's just watch how long that took. Longer than it should have. I'm clearly not an Excel wizard, but you know, we'll get there. Deleting the row, there we go. Then we'll go back up to the top and actually do the fun bit, which is the statistics. Oh, and then I've also remembered that I bought pre-ordered Faybound, so I'm just adding that while I'm here. I'm very excited to read that. But then we get to the statistics, so I'm adding that I've bought a new book this year, which was Faybound, so that's adding to my TBR again. Then we get down to whether I've read a book from my backlog, how many physical books I've read, total read, so The Principle of Moments counts for all 3 of these, so my updated TBR is 420. I'm just adding Faybound to the list, the total list of books I've bought. The first list is books I've bought that I haven't read, and the other list is books, all the books, literally every single book I've bought. My husband and I pre-ordered a special edition of Fourth Wing, which came out earlier this month, so that goes on the every book I've bought list, but I've already read Fourth Wing, so it doesn't go on the new buys list. I hope that makes any kind of sense. I realise when I make these videos that I do make things really overcomplicated, but they make sense in my brain, and this whole thing is for me, so I guess that's fine, I guess. Then after that spreadsheet, I have also started using, there's a TikToker I follow called Emma Skies, who has designed essentially a spreadsheet that's incredibly similar to mine. Not in a she copied me way, a book spreadsheet is a book spreadsheet. Hers is done on Google Sheets and it automatically makes a bunch of graphs and stuff. So it does everything that mine does, but it's better. And I'm also experimenting with using that as well. That is everything I do when I finish a book. I log it in, let's actually count, shall we? Storygraph, bookshelf, Instagram bio, Instagram post, if you want to count those separately, my Excel spreadsheet, Emma's Excel spreadsheet, my book journal and the book talk journal. So that's 8 whole places that I log finishing a book. Is it excessive? Yes. Am I having a good time? Also yes. And that's the important bit. That's my finishing a book routine, for want of a better word. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you at the weekend for another weekly reading vlog. Bye!